Hello traders, welcome back. How is it going? I think everything should be going well. Before we're gonna start, or being late on today's live stream, this time it's my mistake, not a mistake of anything in the studio or something like that. So yeah, I'm sorry for that. Hopefully you can hear me, hopefully you can see me. I think everything should be going well. The plan for today, very simple one. As always, I will be covering the three pairs, which is EU, gold, and Bitcoin. As you know, I wasn't trading gold this week because I just wanted to take a break a little bit and get back from the hard psychological period in my trading this year, because after Dubai and the mistake that I made with the trade copier, it really got me from psychology perspective. But I'm getting back. We will be talking about the plan for this week. Last week, I made around 3% on one account. Unfortunately, ended up in a drawdown in the second account. But that's how it is. Lately, it's been kind of hard to trade, in my opinion. But it depends from trader to trader. So for me, I'm trying to get out of it from a psychological perspective, and basically this is really the hardest time this year for me in terms of trading. But as you all know, I'm trying to be as transparent as possible, and I know a lot of people say or will say that, okay, he don't know how to trade and so on. I just want to show you the real side, that sometimes you just struggle and it's absolutely normal. It's okay, and you can't win all the time, so that's why I'm talking about it. But anyways, let's talk about Bitcoin, because that's going to be the pair that we will start with. That's the most interesting one, in my opinion, because we are hitting a big resistance on the chart. We are talking about this 38 to 39k big supply on daily, 4-hour, weekly time frame. It's really a really big resistance. What we can do here is we can pull a Fibonacci, obviously, from the high overall to the low, which this will give us the 382. Also, one of the levels that we should consider, or we should keep in mind, if we're going to do this pull, then we are talking about 618 and a 66, which is, even bigger level, in my opinion. So there is a plenty of resistance that we are currently hitting, that we are currently getting rejected from, let's say. So what is the plan? Usually what I do when the market is hitting such a big resistance is that I'm really trying to be as much precise as possible with the market structure, because the market structure can really give you a good idea of what is happening overall. So in this case, we got amazing break of a structure. That's pretty clear. Is there any retracement so we can say that this is the week high? Not yet at all. What we will do, though, is that we will mark out the internal structure. The internal structure here will be extremely important in terms of predicting if the retracement started already. So let me just do it right now. This is going to be the internal low on a 4-hour time frame. And when talking about the internal high, it's going to be up here, even though it's not really perfect because we don't have a retracement yet. This is going to be the internal high. Lowering down to the 15-minute time frame, that is going to be more important structure, more important time frame overall when considering what is happening on a Bitcoin, because that can really give us the first indication that BTC is starting to reject. So we can delete all of these levels, just local levels. Doesn't I don't want to say doesn't matter, but it's not that important right now. Anyways, I'm not really sure with the structure here. So what I can do is I can switch this to a line chart. I am sure with the structure, but I'm just asking myself a question, because a lot of you are brand new to the market structure and sometimes you struggle with marking out the correct levels. So if you don't know what to do, then just switch to the 15-minute time frame, use the line chart, and here it's going to be quite visible. So this was previously the high here. Basically, between the previous high, which was here, this was the strong low. you got a break of a structure, which will happen here, so we can mark this out. So it's going to be clear to everyone. This gives you your BOS like this, which will give you your strong low, which is around here. And we are finally, getting it. We are finally getting the idea if this is the point or this is the point. From the mechanical perspective, this is going to be the correct low or the valid low on a 15-minute time frame. But what is important to mention is that we got a retracement already. So after this, we retraced already to the 618 and a 66. Pretty perfect reaction. One could say this could have been a good trade level, which in the end it was. This happened on Thursday. So now this is going to give you your week high on a 15-minute time frame. So week high, we have a strong low, we got a BOS level. What do we have to do now? We need to cover the internal structure. And I don't really want to be marking out this level because this level is not really relevant at all, considering the why it happened. It was just a liquidity sweep in the end. So this is going to be the internal low on a 15-minute time frame. I would consider this as an internal high, and this is currently the range that we are playing. Very simply said. So internal high, internal low. In terms of the 4-hour supply and demand, the demand is holding us pretty perfectly right now. This 4-hour one right here. So once we break through this, we can say that the retracement down to around here, potentially even lower, I would say, is very likely to happen, very likely to occur. So in this case, we are talking probably about this level here, this 34,800. There is one above it, which is also unmitigated, which is right here. If you don't really know what level to pick, usually what I do is I pay attention to the naked point of control and a daily chart. In this case, we got naked POC at both of them. So the likelihood of these two levels being hit is very, very high, basically both of them. If we go to the daily time frame, then on a daily chart, we are right in the middle. So I would personally say the lower one is a little bit more likely to happen, but you can be trading the first reaction out of this level, in my opinion. That's I don't want to say for sure because nothing is for sure in trading, but it would make sense. Let's say it this way. Okay, cool. So we got two levels to target. What is the plan now? We can definitely continue higher. That's for sure. You never really know what's going to happen next. In my opinion, Bitcoin is likely, or it's more likely scenario is that we will continue lower. We will break through this level and we will continue down to the 35,300, potentially 34,800. These are the two levels that you should be paying attention to. But we want to go more in depth than this, right? What we will do is I'll open the footprint chart. Simply the chart that you know that I'm using on a live streams. Let me just check. This. Hello, man. How are you today? I'm good, guys. What about you? Oh, so some guys here are connecting with each other, which is perfect. It's amazing to see this. That's why we are creating this community. Like, if you guys can connect on a Discord. By the way, stay tuned for this week. If you're in my community, which is CW Trading, then stay tuned because we will be releasing something huge. That is no one is doing this in the Czech Republic, and it's going to be absolutely for free. So stay tuned. There is a lot of free education coming. It's not going to be 100% free. What I will want from you is to help me on social media. So some shares and so on, that would be appreciated. But you will know more this week. All right, cool. So from this point, let's just measure what happened from basically Thursday's evening to around what we are getting right now. So open interest, 30 million plus, with a CVD negative 47 million, which is a lot. What we can say is that there is a plenty of liquidity sitting either above this high, potentially considering the amount that we got or that we've just read, even above this high right here. So there is a plenty of liquidity to be swept from the market. So in my opinion, it's likely that the price will go down, but first it will go up to get a liquidity, to sweep the liquidity, then potentially targeting down. So something like this, that would be the ideal scenario on a Bitcoin chart. Obviously, anything can happen, so keep that in mind. But yeah, overall, I would be looking for this. Lowering down to the 15-minute time frame, do we have any important levels here? I want to check the CME gap, even though I don't think that there is any. It's always good to just, make sure that it's really not here. So 37,005 something was the closing price. It doesn't really matter if it's $20 gap, $30 gap. That's usually being filled, but you can trade it. But actually the 37,500, that's quite above us, which is another confirmation that the price will most likely go up. Okay, so we want to get into long, that's for sure. For now, from the start of the Monday, potentially start of the Tuesday, what I want to see is locally this right here. I need to see from which point the longs started to get in, because the ideal scenario would be longs getting kicked out, sweeping the liquidity from the longs, and then getting into long and targeting the highs to sweep out the liquidity from short side. May sound complicated, but it's not really. So local liquidity could be sitting below this level right here. Okay, so this is the local liquidity on a chart. Using the rectangle tool, we can mark out the supply and demand, which is going to be here. So the perfect scenario will be move down, creating the trapped value area and targeting the highs around here. That is my Bitcoin plan for the start of the week. So ideally, looking for something like this, sweeping the liquidity, getting into long, sweeping the high, trapped value area, very strong one, reversing the whole move and coming down to around 35,800. So that is the trade plan. We'll see how it goes, but it makes sense. Just the one thing that you need to keep in mind is that you are going against the trend, like a kind of strong trend. So keep that in mind. It's obviously a riskier trade if you go short here, but the risk to reward makes sense if we can get the correct trapped value area candle. All right, cool. So that's it for BTC. I think it's clear. Let me know if you need any further assistance with that, but that should be okay. On an EU chart is kind of, I would say, interesting because you are basically filling and bouncing from this huge fair value gap that was created here, provided some good reactions, provided some good trades. If you guys know the trades that I took here, I was taking a short on EU that made me around $4,000. Then I lost 2 trades in a row, and then I won one, which was a short from this liquidity sweep on Friday around 3 p.m. So we swept the liquidity. We are targeting, or we are rejecting from this 15-minute fair value gap. I'm not a huge fan of fair value gaps, but in this case, it reacted pretty perfectly, and it was like a trade confluence for me. So yeah, overall, let's start with supply and demand, and let's start with what is happening here. A friend of mine showed me this tool, which is a Lux Algo indicator, that shows you the inside of each order block and what was happening here. So as you can see, from this short order block, or we got more shorts inside here, we got to move to the upsides to kick them out, basically. In this case, I would still be looking higher on EU chart, to be fair. Considering a few things. The liquidity sweep that we got, that looks really decent. Hitting the free A2, so this level mitigated, tested perfectly. Don't need anything else here. So this is going to be the week high. Local structure, or should I say internal structure, that is a clear level 2. It's going to be around here. It's going to be the internal high on a 4-hour time frame, and this is going to give us the internal low. So ideal scenario on EU chart would actually be retracing down to around here, sweep the local liquidity, which the question is where it's sitting, right? I think that most of the liquidity is grabbed already. I would personally be looking for this level to be hit right here and taking a long out of this level, targeting higher. That would be the plan for me from the start of the week. A very, very simple plan. I'm being very straightforward with this. So simply looking for getting into this, potentially sweeping the liquidity below the lows here, which would be also a nice potential trade. So if you can sweep liquidity below the low, it's even better confluence, better confirmation, getting into this order block, taking a long and targeting the high, targeting this whole movement here. One could say you could target even lower, which would make sense, and the week high could potentially be the target for this week. What is important to do on EU is that you need to check the DXY. So if we go to the DXY changed the trend here. That's, very, very well visible. Even after the momentum from the NFP that we got last Friday, or the Friday before the last Friday, so the, last week, the first Friday in November, that is pushing DXY down, EU up. I think that the non-farm payrolls, the result was 150, which the forecast was 170 or 175. It depends where, but 150 was the result, which is pushing the DXY down, which is actually this candle right here. So EU bullish, in my opinion, considering the trend, considering what is formed here. First level, obviously this one, is it the strongest one? Definitely not. I wouldn't expect like a big reaction out of this zone. The strong zone potentially could be around here, which is a little bit above it. So we could start taking a short position from this high that is created here. Could be potential trade. But yeah, this is the plan. You know about the local level, so you know the plan. I will wait for retracement, and then I will start looking for potential long position. If we continue lower, then of course potentially we're gonna get stopped out, but you are looking for even better opportunity in terms of some swing trade. So I think that is about it. Let's check gold. So gold obviously broke the internal structure, which is here. So this is a clear IBOS for our time frame. Perfect. Free A2 tapped absolutely perfectly, 1934. But the 1910 reaction or rejection to 1910 would be actually perfect. I would remain bearish on gold overall. What would be very nice though is, after seeing this liquidity sweep here, which price was driven down there to just sweep the liquidity, that's pretty easily visible here. So liquidity is swept, going down to the 15-minute time frame. So the naked point of control is the 1946 level. I'm just thinking about what is a good level to get into long here. I would personally say the 1937-ish. Around here. Could be a decent level. First one. Second one here. I know I'm going against the trend. You don't have to be taking this trade. Definitely safer trade is once you wait for gold coming up around 1960, 1970 potentially, and taking a short out of here. That's if you are in a drawdown or you don't want to be aggressive, wait for this setup. The only downside is you will stay on the sidelines for next 2, 3, 4, potentially the whole week. But that's what the trading is all about. It's really all about waiting for best potential trade, best potential opportunity, which I think is around 1970. Yeah. Around here. This is where the gold will stop, in my opinion. For a while. Potentially get some reaction. And I wouldn't be shorting this 1961 level. It's too obvious, in my opinion. It's too clear to get some good reaction. I think a lot of retail will be entering here. Even like me myself, I'm also a retail trader, just to make it clear. But for me, it makes sense to go sweep the liquidity above the high, kick out the dump money, let's say, and then potentially continue down. So sweeping the liquidity of the range would be perfect, obviously, but that would be the best case, best scenario. For me, it's quite. I think you see on me that I'm being very calm, even though the plan on gold is not 100% clear. I just know that I'm not gonna enter from the market open, which is gonna be midnight our time, or it's gonna be evening. It's gonna be 10 p.m. So around 2.5 hours. But I'm just gonna wait for a market open, and tomorrow in the morning, then I will potentially start looking for a trade. And between this period of time, which is gonna be around 8 to 9 hours, it will develop some new price action. So yeah, if we will remain in a range, then the new liquidity will be formed, and I will wait for the sweep and potentially taking a long out of it. But if not, then I'm just gonna wait for either retracement to the 5-minute demand, taking a long, or the best case scenario would be actually going down, because then it's confirmed that this level is not holding and we are potentially coming even lower. But very, very hard to say what's gonna happen now. So yeah, we bounce from the fair value gap on a 15-minute time frame. That's clear. Do we have any here? No, we got a first one around 1950, around 1951. Okay, cool. So gold is also clear. Potentially we are looking for something like this at the start of the week. Very hard to say what exactly now, but ideally something like this. I wouldn't be surprised if we won't get the retracement and we get a straight move up. Simply said. All right, so a few more things. Let's just check this. All right, so on gold overall, I will wait for tomorrow's data. On Sunday, the DXM is not perfect. Yeah, on Friday they started to get heavily into longs. So gold potentially could be heading even lower. We'll see. I will keep you updated tomorrow in the morning. It's gonna be the best thing to do here. Let's check EU. I think EU was also flipping. Hopefully, on EU it would be perfect to just get some move up from the start of the week, so we can get more shorts into market and potentially head even higher. But as always, I will keep you updated about it. For now, it's quite hard to say. So tomorrow we got a crude oil inventories. Usually it's like a that huge impact. CPI on Tuesday on $14.30. So that's gonna be important. We got a CRS on a Wednesday. We got a jobless claims and the building permits. And the CPI on EU, 11 a.m. Friday. Right, cool. So I think that this is really all we need for now. The plan is clear. I will keep you updated tomorrow in the morning. But you know the overall what we are looking for. Let me just check the comments. Do we have any new comments in the chat? No, it doesn't look like it. No, guys, I'm trading just these 3 pairs, so I'm not gonna be doing a TA on any other pairs because I would have to do more in-depth research. But you can write me in the DMs what pairs you would like to see being checked, and then I can check them on some live trading session this week. Right, cool. So this is it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being with me on a stream today, and stay tuned for tomorrow's in-depth TA in the morning. Enjoy the rest of the weekend and see you on the Discord.